Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, welcome back to the Baseball Head, and hopefully you like this video. And hit that subscribe button. So we're back here talking about the Mets. I was thinking about this in case the Mets aren't able to sign Cody Bellinger. I was thinking that they should probably make a trade for an outfielder. There is an outfielder that the Red Sox have that I think would interest the Mets. And I think it would interest you to have him on the club. And there is a fit here with both teams. Mets have plenty of middle infielders, that they can move in a deal with the Red Sox. The Red Sox need infield help. They need a right-handed hitter, from what I've read. And they can use a little more pitching. I don't have a lot of pitching to give in terms of the major league level, but I do have plenty of minor league pitching that they'd be interested in. Now, obviously, the Red Sox are all in this season. They completely rebuilt that team over the last 2 years. They went to postseason last year. They've been very, very active this offseason. They brought in Wilson Contreras. Wilson, come back. And, of course, they brought in Sonny Gray. They signed Ranger Suarez. They're preparing themselves to really go at it against the Blue Jays and the Yankees in the American League East. So they're there, and they know they have to deal with the Orioles. That is going to be a monster division. And can't forget about the Rays. That's going to be some battle in that division, folks. You got these 4 or 5 teams that could win the whole thing in the American League. That's how good that division is. So the Red Sox are looking to tweak their team, and the Mets are looking to bring in another bat for this lineup. Bringing in Bo Bichette is an enormous get. Some people say that it was a panic move, but if you've been talking to the player since November, then that sort of explains all the sort of information that came out about him, how he's very close to Marcus Semien, how Semien was very important to his early part of his career. Bichette is very good in the clubhouse. The Mets had a terrible clubhouse, obviously. But I'll give you a trade proposal, which I have not done in a very long time, because I had to figure out what kind of needs figure out what the needs of the Red Sox were. So I'm going to read you this article, and I'll give you the trade. And if you like these kind of like proposed trades, hit the subscribe button. Many years ago, 5 years ago, I came pretty close to nailing the Francisco Lindor trade. With 4 players for Lindor. I got at least 2 major leagues went in that trade and 2 minor league pitchers, and that's kind of what happened. So here we go. Headline from SI: Mets failed Kyle Tucker pursuit sparks Red Sox trade buzz. The Boston Red Sox have a few options ahead of them still. Now, I can't forget the Mets have to bring in pitching. Freddie Peralta is out there. I probably should do a separate video on him because he's going to get traded. Mets are in on him. The Yankees, the Dodgers, unfortunately. The Boston Red Sox have a handful of outfielders and starting pitchers and a need for an infielder. Could they find a solution before spring training gets here? There's less than a month to go before teams start reporting to spring training. We started to see movement across the league this week, including from the Red Sox, as they signed Ranger Suarez to a 5-year deal. Now, arguably, all they have to do over the next few weeks is find either a second baseman or a third baseman. That's it. The Boston can really be considered a contender in the American League, especially with the Toronto Blue Jays missing out on both Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker. All their pitching is there. With Garrett Crochet at the top of that rotation and Sonny Gray filling things out, and Suarez very good as well, filling things out. Those are guys that are going to really help them out. And of course, Chapman at the end of that game, at the end of those games. Free agency would be one path forward with someone like Eugenio Suarez. Trademark would be another. One player who has got a bit of buzz is Isaac Paredes of the Houston Astros. Right now, the rumors are swirling with just 2 weeks to go until spring training. For example, the Athletics' Munchkin, Ken Rosenthal, noted a Boston outfielder could be a possibility for the New York Mets, but no, they do not appear positioned to fix the infield issue. Okay? Let me see. To sign Bellinger, the next first free agent outfielder, they would need to beat the Yankees' 5-year offer for between $155 million and $160 million without deferrals. The Munchkin wrote, "That seems unlikely given the Mets' preference for shorter deals, but to a degree they have backed themselves into a corner." I wouldn't go that far. Which is why Tucker was practically a must-have. Yeah, but they changed the team's personality. Tucker was not going to be good in the clubhouse. It wasn't going to be good. Harrison Bader, the best of the other free agent outfielders, could fit short-term, even with the Mets wanting to keep center fielder or left field open for rookie Carson Bench. A trade for one of the Red Sox outfielders is another possibility, though the Mets do not appear positioned to fill the Red Sox need at second or third. Aha, we'll get into that. Trading third baseman Brett Beatty, another young player the Mets are eager to make it regular, only would create another hole. The Red Sox have Jarren Duran and Wilyer Abreu, who very well would be trade chips. The Mets have a surplus of infield talent, including Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos. Duran or Abreu would be too much to give up for either Beatty or Vientos. The Mets threw in a young pitcher as well, though. That could at least open the door to a conversation. Now, I'm going to give you a trade proposal. And think about it a little bit. The Mets would send for Duran Mark Vientos, because they need a right-handed bat in their lineup. They're very left-handed. Jet Williams. He's got to give up something for Duran. Duran's wins above replacement the last 2 years is 13.4. And 2024 was 8.7. And it didn't even lead the league in the American League. And last year was 4.7. So he has the ability of he affects a lot of games on the positive note, on the positive side. And I would send him a prospect, Zach Thornton, who is considered like a top 15 prospect in the Mets system. So that would be the trade. It would be Jarren Duran for Mark Vientos, Zach Thornton, and Jet Williams. The Mets have plenty of middle infielders that they can move. And Jet Williams is a highly touted infielder, and he can play second. So if they want to DH Vientos, they can do that. And also Williams is close to being in the major leagues. Now, if you want to just do Williams and Zach Thornton, that is up to you. There's any number of things you could do here. But obviously Williams is not ready for the major leagues. He's probably going to spend all this year in AAA. But he's very close to the majors. And he's very talented. Can hit, can run, gets on base, steals bases, does everything. Can play the outfield, can play second, can play short. Very versatile. Now, Vientos had a big year in 2024, or at least a half a year was big. Had a great postseason. I think he's going to have a better year. If he stays with the Mets, I think he's going to have a much, much better year. Because his leadership in that clubhouse is going to guide him a little bit better than there was no guidance last year with him. I mean, that was clearly was a major problem for him. He's one of these players that needs that guidance. I think Simeon being here and Bichette being here is going to help him out a lot. Particularly Bichette. So, that's the proposal. There's any number of combinations here. Vientos with Jet Williams and a pitcher, or Williams and a pitcher, and maybe something else. Maybe one of the other guys in the top 20 or top 30 prospect list for Jarren Duran. You could put Duran in left field. It doesn't affect center field. Now, what it does do, though, is it makes the Mets extremely right-handed. Extremely left-handed. That's why it's so important to have guys like Bichette in this lineup, and important to have guys like Simeon in this lineup, and Alvarez. And as you know, Jorge Polanco is a switch hitter. So, you let me know what you think about this video, and of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Oh, before I forget, I really need you to hit the subscribe button for the Baseball Hut 3. That channel is doing great, but I need more subscribers. I'll put the link in. And I talk a lot about the media, goof on the media, have a lot of fun there. Please hit the subscribe button. Go in there, put the link in the description of this video. I got about 450 subscribers. The channel's doing great, but I need more people to come and watch on a regular basis. Not so much a regular basis, but subscribe. It's the most important thing now. The hours are getting pretty good. It's getting close to being monetized on that side, but I need people to subscribe. So, you guys are all great that have been watching these videos for all these years. I need a little bit more from you, and I know you'll give it to me because you're all great. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.